Today I have been foraging in my garden for grasses and weeds and leaves, and I'm going to decorate this vase with them. I have here a sheet of white tissue paper and I'm going to measure what I need to go around the vase with a slight overlap and cut that through. Okay, so now I'm going to stick these grasses and weeds to this glass. I'm just going to attach them lightly into place with this sellotape, this sticky tape down at the bottom. Moving on, I've got some lavender. This is actually lavender from my garden from last year that I press. Okay, so we're going to just keep going all the way around using all this greenery and foliage. Here's another little flower that I pressed from last year. Okay, that is all now covered as much as I want it to be. Now, what we have to do is cut off these extra bits on the bottom. Now I'm going to stick the tissue paper to the vase and all the grasses will be inside. And to do that, I'm going to use a glue stick. Now, I have secured some of these at the top as well, because as I turn it, they're all going to kind of flop about. So first thing I'm going to do is pull it quite tight without ripping it and put some glue stick on the glass and secure it in place. It's going to be a little bit wrinkled, but it will be fine. Okay, and then just rolling it all the way around and pulling it tight on this side too. Going to put some more glue down and gently stick that in place too. Now we're going to have to do something with the bottom parts. Now I haven't taken my label off, but that's okay, we're not going to see that when it's finished. So I'm just going to smear some of the glue here and then push the paper over so that it sticks like that. And then on the top, I'm going to put glue on the rim. I'm just going to have to cut some of these top bits off because the grasses are actually higher than my vase. I'm going to go around and just trim bits of paper off. And then just fold any bit of paper that you've got remaining and just secure it. A little bit of grass needs to come off. Okay, and now I will show you how it looks. And just see how pretty these are. I did a small vase, I did a drinking glass, and 2 of the large vases. Really, really simple project to do. Imagine these on a hot summer's evening when the sun has gone down outside. And in the daytime, I stand them on a windowsill where the sun streams in, and that lights them up too.
So the first thing we're going to do is clean the glass thoroughly. I use 91% isopropyl alcohol, but you can just clean it with water if needed, or a lower grade. And this is just to get any dust, dirt, fingerprints, anything off on there so that our project can stick as well as possible. So the next thing we're gonna do is mix up some resin. Now I'm using Stone Coat Countertops Art Coat. This one's mixed 50-50 with part A and part B. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this mixed up. You mix it for generally about 4 minutes or so, and then we'll be right back. All right, my epoxy is now well mixed. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just tape off the top of this glass. Now the purpose of this is not to actually block the epoxy. It's more of a guideline. So I just know how high I want to go with my resin. If you want a nice clean line with your resin, you can tape it off. You just have to, it's a little bit hard on a round surface. And then you have to remove the tape before the resin is dry. But that's not what we're doing today. So this is just a rough guideline. Now I have a cup turner here. Very inexpensive on Amazon and such a good investment. And then I'm gonna just cover most of this with a thin layer of the clear resin. And don't forget to get the bottom here. Now I'm leaving a really rough line at the top, and I'm going maybe just over halfway up with my resin. You probably don't even need to go that high, but it depends on your flowers. And this is just a rough line. That's how I like it. If you want a cleaner line, you can use the tape. Just gonna need a little bit more prep. And just make sure you don't really miss any spots. You get some good coverage. All right, this has been spinning for about 30 minutes. So at this point, it's still really sticky, but not moving around as much. I'm gonna go ahead and add my flowers. And I do apologize, my hands are covered in paint. I've been painting all day. So these little sets come with some greens. I recommend making sure you only put things on there that you know can go flat, and those are a little difficult to get flat, so I'm going to skip those. Now one other aspect to consider is, do you want your flowers seen from the inside or from the outside, or both? I'm going to go ahead and place some flowers so that they can be seen from both. So I'm going to put some face down and some face up. And I'm gonna just layer mine here. Now this is really best done with tweezers, but full disclosure, I have not mastered tweezers yet. So I just use my hands. But if you are proficient at tweezers, definitely go ahead and use those. They work well. And these are small, so I'm going to use quite a few. If you have bigger flowers, you might not need to use quite as many. Don't forget about the bottom of your cup. So for the bottom of the cup, I recommend putting definitely a flat flower and putting it so that it can be seen from the inside of the cup specifically. And that will look really pretty. Now that's all of my flowers there. I'm going to just take a toothpick and just carefully make sure they are pressed down as much as possible. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and just keep letting it spin, and I'm going to come back in about 4 to 6 hours to put the final layer of resin on it. If it's really cold in your area, you might need to wait longer. If it's really hot, you can probably come back even faster. All right, we are back. It's actually been about 6 hours. This is still very slightly tacky, but it's almost completely dry. It has been very warm in here, and for those who don't know, the warmer it is, the faster the resin cures. So the last thing we're gonna do here is just put a clear coat over, and that'll just seal these flowers in fully. And we don't need a lot, so just a very little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and make sure all of the flowers specifically get covered. I'm not gonna go up as far as I did previously, because I don't particularly need to. Don't forget to get the bottom of your glass. Okay, that's all there is to it. Super simple. Let's let this completely dry. I'll take it off, I'll take the tape off, and show you the final gorgeous product inside and out. All right, here's our wine glass all complete. I think this is so pretty. Look at that. And you can see the flowers obviously from the outside, and then from the inside, I put some of them facing in and some facing out. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll see you next time.